Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're good. Some weekend day. Did you enjoy it? Hope you won a little bit. Good, weren't it? Um, yeah, we're a bit late today. Couple of reasons for that. One, I had some repair job to do to some of my own bets there, my own ante-post sort of bets. So I was spending most of the last evening sorting stuff out with that. Um, And then, yeah, there were just a lot to go through, so I didn't even really start watching replays and stuff till today. Okay. So we're in the conservatory. It's a bit late, so the quality's not great in here, so the lighting's not that good for night time. So as long as you can hear me, that's fine, knowing it, you know. Well, yeah, some weekend day. You're going to need plenty of flasks today. This is going to be a long one. It is. Flasks are plenty. I'm thinking maybe an hour and a half. I'm not going to break down all the races like the in-running details and stuff like that so much. Um, yeah, it was some roller coaster, weren't it? It were. Just before we get into it, I'm just going to say a big thank you to Mark McKay and his Cheltenham Chat channel. He gave me a good shout out there yesterday. You know, he's made 7 years straight profit at Cheltenham. That is some achievement. That's a serious achievement. That is, you know, not many people are doing this sort of thing so much anymore. Or if they do, they're doing like substitutions and fucking price boosts and all sorts. Like yeah, he plays it straight, and it's not easy. It isn't. I can tell you that. Right, yeah, he's always given me good support, and I'm guessing some of you guys will probably not be here if it weren't for him, you know. Joint video, yeah, really could happen. It could. That'd be funny. We'll see what we can do between us to make that happen. Yeah, should be good fun. Right, right. Just before we get to the weekend, just a couple of races got to catch up on. Got loads of bets today, like loads. So I hope you've got plenty of back to normal winnings, okay? Because it's all going back on. Right. Monday, Punchestown, it were heavy. 2 mile maiden hurdle. Carboby, Captain Ryan 16. Just led all the way and quick and smartly down the back. Action suggests to me soft, heavy ground could maybe be important to him. I'll just my view, you know, could be wrong. Sometimes you get them things wrong, but yeah, I would have thought maybe soft heavy seems to come down quite hard onto the ground there. As I mentioned before, there's this 2 mile listed race at Punchestown a few weeks before Cheltenham. You know, there's a few candidates for that. There'd be this fella, Kisswill, that funny cola horse. Um, And Willie did throw a bit of a grenade into the Supreme via that race last year with Tully Hill, you know. He was very late getting going this year, and, you know, they could have some horses yet to shake things up. Just when you think you've got it all sorted, you know, it could be another one somewhere emerge. That I would say that would apply to, you know, the novice races like, yeah, the mares, novice, bumper race, even Triumph. Like, you know, he doesn't appear to have a big Triumph horse at the minute. So, you know, there may be one incoming from somewhere. You know what he's like. Um, but yeah, I thought this fellow were quite impressive, and you know, out of him, Kisswill, Funny Cola horse, that you're just kind of guessing, aren't you? But certainly he looked as impressive as any of those two, you know. 2 mile round Punchestown on every ground. This were Punchestown as well, weren't it? So he might be the most likely candidate out of the three, you know, to rock up there. We'll see. Right then, the other sort of interesting race on that card, the 2 mile 3.5 mares Maiden. Yeah, we finally got to see her, didn't we, Maureen? She does look like Fiend. Yeah, I've got a soft spot for this horse. I love Faheen. Like, you know, she is, you know, loosely related anyway, and she does look like him. She beat D's Lady 5 here. Yeah, she led. She was steadied into the last, you know. I thought she was just getting a bit tired, to be honest, which she was entitled to. It were first run for like a year, weren't it? Some people having a go at jumping. I thought she jumped fine, to be honest, first time up, you know. She'll come on a ton for this. She will. I thought she still looked quite raw here. You know, as such, there's loads of improvement to come from her. It did go quite slow here. She will have to step up a lot on this, but there is more to come. I think she's probably the danger to 6.5. I've covered both these horses. The price has kind of gone a bit on them, and it was just bad timing with the videos and stuff. But we have got a couple of points, haven't we, at 7s on 6.5. Could come down to the ground. That could be a factor. Worth noting, this race has been moved to the first race on a Thursday, so they're likely to get, you know, they're going to get fresh ground that day. They'll get the best of the ground on the day, which could be a benefit to 6.5. I'm kind of thinking, you know, if it comes up soft heavy, that might swing things more for Maureen. Anything better than that, and yeah, I'd be all over this 6.5, you know. Yeah, that fresh ground now. Yeah, she keeps, you know, she's got really nibbled before I could get this out, really. She's only 7-2 now, 6.5. We're going to have another 3 points on her, though. She's our main bet for that race. So we've got the 2 points at 7s. We'll have another 3 on her here at 7-2. Non-runner no bet. We'll do most of these non-runner no bet, you know, at this stage. That bin's full enough. We're struggling to get else in, so yeah. I think the betting might flip round here. I've just got a feeling this Maureen might get kind of slaughtered on the previews circuits, you know. I think, yeah, I could see 6.5 going into favourite. They may be like, you know, then it's quite nuanced, like maybe on the day there'll be money for Maureen, you know, but yeah, I think 6.5 is entitled to be favourite here. I think they'll flip round that betting. So the 7-2 might not look so bad, you know. I know a lot of these prices I'm putting up today won't look like banging value. We've been playing that game all year, though, haven't we? Now it's non-runner no bet. You're not getting so much value generally. You know, you're just trying to find the winners and make a profit, aren't you now? And some of them, like, you know, you might think a horse don't look especially good value, but it only needs like one of the others to come out prominent in the betting, and then suddenly that does look good value, and there will be horses come out, you know. So yeah, 7-2, I don't mind that, you know. I don't, to be fair. So we'll have another 3 points on it there. Maureen, yeah, I want to be having a saver on her, but I might just hang fire. I think she's 11-4 top price. Like I say, I think they might flip, so we may get a little better than that. So just for now, we'll just hang fire. but she's really only going to be kind of a saver bet. We'll just have a couple of points on her, I imagine. And the other race I mentioned, the only other race I've seen, to be honest, bar Dublin this weekend, were that Silly Isles, I don't think any of these are going to Cheltenham. If they all rock up at Aintree, Django Bay will beat them. Okay. Loves Aintree. You'd imagine be better ground. And yeah, I'd be back in Django Bay to turn that form round with handstands and the other fella there. Yeah, I think Django Bay will go well at Aintree. Big chance. Right. Saturday then, DRF, Leopardstown, one yielding, good yielding in places. On the hurdles track it was soft. Kicked off with a 2 mile 6 grade 1 Nathaniel Lacy. Final demand beat Wingmen 12 here with Mozzie's sister another 5.5 lengths back in third. Yeah, we started with a bang, didn't we? The meeting started with a bang. He settled well here. And when Paul pulled him out, the response was impressive, weren't it? He just sort of galloped relentlessly clear on the running. Seriously impressive beast of an horse, this. I love this fella. This were a good time as well. Willie after Albert Bartlett, not in his mind. Okay. Yeah. His turn, as he's saying. Right. He comes out roughly the same horse as the Yellow Clay on a line through the second here. Wingmen, on a literal interpretation, that form is a length better. That can be a little bit misleading, can't it? Keeps coming in, this fella. Do you know some of these prices have changed today? I don't know what to do with him, to be honest. I don't, because I love him. I'll be honest, I did cover him a little bit at much bigger prices, but I'd never put him up on here. I made a mess of these novice hurdles for us. I'm sorry. I apologise. I do. Honestly, I don't know what to do with him. Let me think it through. I don't want to rush into him. The only sort of thing that niggles me a little bit is, do you know when you're looking at a Ballymore, it's Turners now, isn't it? When you're looking at a Turners winner, I like to think the horse could run in a Supreme or a Turners. Whereas you look at this fella and you think he could run in a Turners or an Albert Bartlett. It's like, if we win the Albert Bartlett, I'd make him I'd strongly fancy him. So it's just that. But I do remember thinking the same about Faheen years ago. He would drop him back, weren't he? He ran 3 mile Limerick. So, yeah, maybe that's... Yeah, I like him, I do. I think he's got a cracking chance and I think he deserves to be favourite. I'm just not sure where to put him up here. I'll just give my view on these horses. And, if I'm a little unkind about a horse you really like, don't worry about it, don't take offence. I'll get lots wrong. So that's, my opinion is of no hindrance to your fancy. History proves that, so don't worry about it. This guy I do really like. I think he deserves to be favourite. I'm kind of on him. That's just that one little niggle I have, and I just need to think about that for a little while. I am going to put a bet up though. We are going to have a little bet in that Turners. It may well not end up being the main bet this, but I want to cover him now, and that's 3 points. I'll tell you 2 or 3, but we'll go 3 because he's a nice price. On Kawabunga. Okay, we're going to have 3 points on him, 10 to 1, non-runner, no bet. Okay, not messing about with this Willie Mullins bingo and saying he goes, always get it wrong. So yeah, non-runner, no bet, 10 to 1 I think is very fair. We'll have a chat a bit later about him, but yeah, we're having 3 points on Kawabunga at 10s, okay. Now, also from this race, sounds victorious. He's wonderfully slow, this horse. He is. He was kind of outpaced before staying on again, and he finished around 10 lengths behind Wingman, who's as short as 10 to 1 for this. Do you know, over another 2 furlongs, I think he'd beat the rest of these. I do. Everybody will probably have a different view on these in behind, but that's how I see it. I think given 3 mile, I think he may have beat the rest of these. I do. He's gone out to 50 to 1 in places for the Albert Bartlett. That's not non-runner, no bet. He's, I think, 33's non-runner, no bet, but that is quite a difference in price. Now, I know we have got a point on him, haven't we? I can't remember now if it's 25s or 33s, but we had a point on him. I've backed him again. I've had a little bit on him again. Bet Victor, I've got Bet Victor, so I've done this bet. And I realise some of you may not. But there's 33s non-runner, no bet. There's 50s about. Bet Victor going 40s, but they're paying the first 4, which is nice. So I'll be honest with you, I had another like point on him at 50s. A bit less than a point. And a bit less than a point each way on him at this 40s, you know. So what I'm doing here, we'll put him up a point each way at Bet Victor at the 40s, first 4. Okay. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's the sort of race, you know, you do get your stellar stories and things popping in, isn't it? And, you know, he looks like that kind of sort to me. I don't mind having a bit of a pop at one at 50s, albeit he might not be the main selection on the day. Like, you know, we may slightly overstate that race, but he's a little project on his own, like, you know. So I don't mind that when you're playing at them prices, you know. Yeah. I mean, he ran well at the track as well, didn't he, last year in that bumper? So he's got that festival form in the bank as well, you know. For all them reasons, I think he's worth an each, you know. I don't generally like doing each ways, but if I've got, like, say, 2 points win, I don't mind having a point place as well, you know. Particularly if you're getting this first 4, that's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, the Yellow Clay, yeah, I'd say his form stood up well here, you know, maybe a little more than the Big Westerner, but I do like the Big Westerner still. If he were to go Albert Bartlett, I'd say he's got a big chance. I know Gordon keeps saying Turnus, but if he were to change his mind and he goes Albert Bartlett, he'd take a little bit of whacking, I think, this Yellow Clay. He's 5 to 1 non-runner, no bet, and I don't think that's a bad price, to be honest. Put it this way, I think he could go off half that price if he did turn up here, you know. I don't think you'd be getting 5s if you ran in this, so I won't put you off him if you like him. on I don't know bet like. Two-mile Grade 1 Juvenile, Hello Neighbour, beat Galileo Dame 3/4 of a length here. He settled better in the hood, and despite the small winning margin, he was like kind of far better than these. He jumped much better, he travelled well, and he always had these covered. He does nothing in front, this horse, he'd done. Yeah, the Triumph, I think he'll be underestimated a little, but I'd say 6-1 non-run and no bet each way. You know, you look at that and it's tempting to say that's solid. You know, you kind of feel like looking at the market, you kind of getting your win bet for free there. All I would say with that is, you know, if you were wondering if to do that, it's the first three at the minute. Maybe wait until the day when there's more places available, you know, because at the minute it does look like Lalamba and East India Dock are taking out two of them places, so you're literally maybe running for the one. And I don't think he'll be much shorter on the day, this fella. So, yeah, if you're wanting to play him each way, I'd kind of hang fire until you get the extra places with him. You know, we've seen them all now, maybe, or have we? Like, you know, I said, maybe Willie could pull something out of the fire here somewhere, but it's hard to imagine, isn't it? He won't have something on the day, but maybe the Charles is overpriced. Maybe that will be his one. Maybe he's a bit overpriced at 20s. But up to now, we've sort of seen Lalamba, this fella, and the other fella, you know. Personally, Lalamba's the one that kind of wowed me, you know. He's the one I kind of look at and think this is a Grade 1 horse for seasons to come. But he's short now, and I've got no inclination to play him at the prices he is now. St. Lucie, yeah, you know, question marks. She were a bit free and sweaty last time, and she were too keen here. You know, she's in the bin that point, and it's the first of many, I'm afraid. But yeah, she's in the bin that point. Gone. 3 mile handicap hurdle. Percival Legelwa. Yeah, I gave him a good mention. I did have something on him, but I were very scared of the favourite, and I didn't have a proper bet on him, and I should have done. This was the one kind of result over the weekend that I'd probably like keep myself a bit for. I did back him. I was shouting him home. Love this horse. He just loves Leopardstown, doesn't he? To be honest, I've not gone into much depth on those in behind. Rushmount maybe caught the eye a little in fourth. You know, he was promising horse one time. If they can keep him in one piece, maybe, you know, he'll find a race somewhere. Right. 2 mile 1. Grade 1 Irish Arkle. Masborough beat Touch Me Not 9. Now, I was surprised how Andy jumped out here. He led most of the way. This time it were different though, you know, he weren't like gifted the race this time. I think this time he was just that much better than the other horses. His natural speed were just higher, you know. Yeah, 5 out, 6 out, 4 out, he weren't the best. There was some novice jumping. but I kind of think it was almost too easy for him, I think maybe in a more competitive race, that'll maybe just focus him that little bit more. Yeah, we look like we got a fantastic Arkle here, don't we? This fella, Sergino. I'd say the difference for me was Sergino looked like he'd been doing it all his life, whereas this fella does actually look like a novice. Sergino's got that blinding speed. On soft heavy, I think it could be close. It could be a big race. I'd say the softer the ground, the more it'll suit Masborough. Whereas, if there's like good to soft in the ground, I think Sergino's just got that gear light, I do love this fella though. We love him, How can you not, We've got 5 points on Sergino, haven't we, at fives. For me, this is an absolute no-brainer. We're having 3 points on Masborough at 9-4 non-runner no bet. Gino's out this weekend. That could maybe push Masborough out on the back of it if he's impressive. But yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. We'll just get him on the team sheet, and that's the Arkle done. We've actually worked this race well, and we're done with it. We've got a main bet on Sergino, we've got a nice cover bet on Masborough. That's fine. Il Atlantique, he's back in the bin. We let him out for a little bit, didn't we? But he's back in there now. He just kind of runs the same speed. I think he just needs heavy ground. He does. It's like he runs the same speed on heavy ground as he does on this good ground. He just needs heavy ground, I think. But he's back in the bin anyway. Even on heavy ground, he's not going to beat Masborough, is he? Oh, never mind a Sergino. Love him though, but yeah, he's back in the bin. Temporary reprieve he had. 3 mile Grade 1 Irish Gold Cup. Galopin beat Grange Clare West. Nearly 5 here. Factor File. A short head back in third. Yeah. What horse this Galopin is I'd say we're privileged to be watching on as this legend unfolds, He bossed the race here, he quickened down the back, kind of turning in anyway. They came to challenge him, didn't they? And they were all just left toiling in his wake once again as the afterburners kicked in after the last. He's anything between 4-7 and 2-5 non-runner no bet. He's got away this race. It's just fell apart in spectacular fashion, hasn't it? But who cares, If you're on, I'm sure plenty of you are on. Brilliant, I don't mind. I'll be shouting him on. I'll get something running on to him anyway. But, yeah. Just fantastic horse. Grange Clare West, he ran a mighty race here, didn't he? If he can keep him in one piece and hold his form, he'll be worthy of his place in the Gold Cup. He was staying on fine close home anyway. Factor File. He's shaped much like the second best horse in this race. That he couldn't hold off Grange Clare West on the running. Yeah, Ryanair. Yeah, Ryanair, like I said. Lump job. It's just the price. He's 6-4 non-runner no bet. 2-1. Yeah, I don't know. I did actually have a little bit on him at the twos after the race, and not long after I kind of regretted that, to be honest. So I'm not going to make the same mistake here. It may turn out for you, but it may not. I've got to look after this bin, it's too full. So, I don't know. 6-4 non-runner no bet. We'll have a think on that one as well. But yeah, I'd like him for Wood. He's a class horse. He just don't get this trip, does he? Not really, you know. Not at this level anyway. He's perfect sort of stamina profile for a Ryanair, and you know they can ride him more prominent then, because they're like negating what's good about him, aren't they, by holding him round the back and trying to get him to settle. Just, you know, if they let him go on coming down the hill in a Ryanair, he could have it shot to pieces. He could. He's a good horse. So we may well end up lumping on him, but just for now, we'll hang fire. Just the prices, isn't it? Some of these prices, it's a bit tight, aren't they? You know, if we were getting 5-2 non-runner no bet, I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't blink. You know, we'd be having a good bet on him. I know the way you're thinking. He ran a huge race here for the National. He did. You know, stayed on nicely after getting a touch outpaced. You know, we've been on about this fella for like nearly a year now, haven't we, for the National at 33s. I hope he goes. I just hope he goes, and I think he's got a great chance. They did say it weren't on his radar, but then they entered him, so we'll see, you know. Monty's start, I thought, ran great, you know, considering Hendry's form. You know, he was pulled up fairly quick after the line. I'd say he got tired here, and he'll improve a lot for this. There's a lot more to come. This Gold Cup, we're going to get a betting without market, aren't we? And this fella would be on my mind for that without market. Him and Corbett's Cross would be the two I'd be thinking may chase Galopin home. Probably be quite a small field, won't it? He's just scaring them all off. Jerry Colombe's out, isn't he? Jesus, I just saw that this afternoon. That's a shame. You know, it's a shame for connections, and it's a shame for the without market as well, because, like I said, I'd have favoured these two, and we're not going to get such a good price now as we would have done. 2 mile 1 handicap chase, midnight it is, never going way, you know. I liked him for this, he would never go in. Post race he was found to be coughing, so, you know, you can maybe just put a line through it on that basis. Muzzy ran well, didn't he? Our mate Muzzy, he ran well first time out. This should set him up for an handicap at Cheltenham. Tricky to win with, maybe more place per horse, but you know, yeah. And then we close the card out on Saturday with a 2 mile grade 2 bumper. Colcannon beats Sotudo a length and a half. He Can't Dance was a head back in third. Yeah, Colcannon, he landed a gamble in great style here. You know, he looks a nice horse, but he's not qualified for Cheltenham. He's had too many runs. He paid a little compliment to 6.5 here as well, who beat him well by 11 in a bumper at Punchestown last year. He Can't Dance. He ran into one here, didn't he? I love him. I love this horse, I do. Some horses you just take to, don't you? I think he's going to make a cracking stayer next season. I love how he's stuck at it here. Yeah, we'll go like Albert Bartlett Brown's Gold Cup, something like that. Maybe more national, I don't know. But yeah, Albert Bartlett Brown's anyway. And Cheltenham, no, but I'm not throwing him in the bin. I can't fit him in. I need a bigger bin. We'll leave him out just for a minute. I think if he does go to Cheltenham, I think he'll win a big race. Although, yeah, I could be saying he's going to win it, but I can imagine him running a big race there, you know. But we're not on each way, are we? So right then, Sunday, yielding on the chase course, soft on the hurdles course. That's why we changed to that after race 2. Okay. We opened up 2 mile to Paddy and Maureen Mullins mares handicap hurdle. Vistio beat Kimmy by 5. Qualameter another 3/4 lengths back in third. Yeah, Danny and Emmett Mullins here. This were planned, weren't it? Keeping it in the family, and it was brilliantly executed by Danny, who just kind of bobbed and weaved his way through the field, you know. Wouldn't be putting a line through her if she kind of rocked up in a Coral Cup. She'd go there with a chance, wouldn't she? She's progressive and she stayed well to the line here. Qualameter were weak in the market but ran well. Travelling noticeably well turning in, but didn't kind of have the gears. She finished the race off nicely in a first time tongue tie, which is something she's not done previous this season. I'd say she'll have learnt plenty here, and I've just a feeling she could run a big race in that mare's novice hurdle. I could see her hitting the frame. We did have a point each way, didn't we, on her, which is in the recycled bin. That may come out, that may have to come out. We could kind of do with pulling her out just to make a bit more room to squash the other ones in, like, you know. She's crying out for fences, she is, and I'd say the way she shaped here would give you every encouragement that, like, up in trip, that she could become like a big contender for the Mares' Chase next year. Yeah, I still like her. 2 mile 5.5 grade 1. It's not the Moriarty, isn't it? But it should be. I liked that name. Ballyburn, he beat Croke Park 5 here in Parapass, another 5.5 length back in third. Yeah, Ballyburn, he looked much happier back at this trip, didn't he? And I thought what he did from the back of the last would give you every encouragement for the 3 mile of the Browns there. He's classy, isn't he? He is. He's the one to beat in the Browns. And I'd say if there's like a Gold Cup winner in waiting in that race, it's most probably him. He's got a bit of stardust about him, hasn't he? Yeah, I don't actually think the 2-1 non-runner no bet. I think it's non-runner no bet, the twos. I don't think that looks bad. I don't really. I mean, Dancing City's just like a point bigger. You know, Paul will be on Ballyburn, so I'd expect that gap in price to widen, you know. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes off a shade odds on, you know, I wouldn't. So, yeah, you know, if you're desperate to get on this guy, I won't put you off at the twos. Soft Heavy would put me off at the short odds, though. You know, if it turned into a real slog. And it often is sort of soft heavy. So, you know, the sort of makeup of the race and the ground will have a bit of a bearing nearer the time. You know, you have a bit of a better idea. Croke Park, maybe finally he'll get some love after this, you know. He's a fantastic beast horse. He is, you know, he jumped these silly. He loves jumping. You know, he hasn't the class of Ballyburn, but few have, you know. But he tried his very best, didn't he, to sort of bridge that deficit with his heart, like, you know. I love him to bits, you know. But as mentioned before, I fear this were one race too many, and he may well have left his festival chance here. It's a shame, but he did help make this race a great spectacle, didn't he? His jumping's just insane, like, you know. Funny enough, his price has kind of come in now to the shortest it's been, and he sits third in the market. But now he's finally being given the recognition. I've kind of got off him a bit because I don't like this was his fourth run, like, you know. But I hope he can prove me wrong, you know. He's been very good at proving people wrong so far. There weren't much between Better Days Ahead and him. I like Better Days Ahead. I still think he's overpriced at double figures. I think he'll go off third favourite. I can see him going off sort of 5s, 11-2. He didn't run here on account of the ground, which I'd say is maybe genuine as well. Like, you know, he's had a few of these anti-Gordon, but I could understand that here. Plenty of horses over the weekend weren't in love with this ground, which is a point to note for Cheltenham in general as well. You know, if you get there and it's like soft to heavy, a lot of form could get turned on its head, you know, particularly in like the handicaps and stuff. It's a 10 up on Sunday, isn't it? I wonder if he'll get an entry there. He may go there, or he may just go straight to Cheltenham. I'm not sure what I'd prefer, to be honest, you know, because that 10 up can be a bit of a slog, can't it? I'd have liked him here, but yeah, the ground just come up a bit quick for him. Right then, 2 mile. Do we have to? 2 mile. Grade 1 novice hurdle. Kopek de Boards beat Carniquet 13 here. Good and Clever, another 9 length back in third. Wow. Like, big wow, you know. Jumped much better here. I thought he was awesome. I did. I just thought, wow, you know, what's this? You know, people might try and pick this apart a little, you know. I don't care. You know, sometimes you just have to believe, you know, what you see with your own eyes. You know, it was the way he did it, you know. I mean, he got, I think about his top speed on the little speedo thing were like 33, but when he were doing that, he was just in a hat canter, like, you know. So it's not really what he's achieved here, it's just more the way he did it, you know. How he's so powerful, isn't he? How much, you know, we don't know the bottom of this guy, nowhere near. I'd say he's improved loads from his seasonal debut, and I think he'll improve loads again. A big scopiosis. Hands up, I got this wrong. I do apologise. You know, I couldn't see a world in which Willie would have the Moscow Fly winner and this winner and run them in the same race. You know, it's never happened before. It's happening now, though. It is. So I am sorry about that. Just before the race, I had a little double. I did. I just thought, I was looking at it all, I thought, the only thing that can mess me up is if this fella goes supreme, like, you know. So I just had a little double on him at 8s and final demand at 5-2, like non-runner, no bet. Which is fine, but why didn't I have the single? You know, I've got no explanation for that. I don't know, you know. Error 404, you know, page not found. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry for like anti-post bets. We've kind of made. I've made a mess of these novice hurdles. I have. Yeah, one of the reasons we're late today is because I spent plenty yesterday sorting it out. People might slate me for this, maybe, I don't know, and maybe they'd be right, you know, but They've just got to keep a lid on him. But for me, he's much the best horse. I backed him after the race, non-runner no bet. His price, I thought 6-4 was short enough, but I got on him anyway, and he's into 5-4 non-runner no bet now. So, you know, I've checked these prices before I did the video, and a couple had just got clipped, like, so we'll have to take the 5-4 non-runner no bet, and we're having 7 points on him. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and lump on him. You do what you like, you know. I'm just telling you my views. I'm just trying to repair this sheet we've got, you know. And I don't mind that. We'll bang the 7 points on him. And personally, that's what I had on him. And in my mind, I'm thinking on the day, you know, it being the first race, you'll get one of them super boosts or something with 365, and I might have a bit more on him as well, hopefully. But yeah, like I say, it's your own choice. Like I say, people may slate me for sticking up a 5-4 shot non-runner no bet, with 7 points on it, but I don't care. It's my game. I'll play it how I want to, like, you know. Yeah, I just think they've got to keep a lid on him. He's much the best horse. He is. Right. Like I say, well, they could throw a grenade in here yet via that Punchestown race, granted, but Jesus, I mean, this fella's something. He is. He looks a bit special to me. So, yeah. There we go. Cowabunga. Right, we'll talk a bit more about this horse now. He shaped really well behind Kopek first time out, didn't he? Now, clearly that horse has progressed hugely from that run. I think he will again, you know, but nonetheless, he got beat less than 3 lengths there and shaped really nicely, you know. Then he went to a 2-mile maiden, didn't he, with William Money, you know, and William Money got to sort of 7 a work ahead. He beat him nicely, you know, he beat him cosy, he did. And all his form ties in with, you know, the 3 strongest maidens we've had of the season. That William Money race, he went a searching pace there, and he was just on the edge at times, but they did go quick. And I just thought he was impressive how he came after the last. I think he won with plenty left in the tank there. He's out of a Saint de Saints mare, you know, he's got plenty of stamina in his pedigree. And for me, he's shaped both times like he could improve plenty up in trip. You know, his last run in France would suggest that as well. He was staying on well all the way to the line there at Orty. 2 mile, 1.5 on heavy. I like I was saying with that Turners, I like a horse that's sort of demonstrated 2 mile pace, and I like that he'd be fetching that to the Ballymore. I'm not saying Final Demand hasn't got that pace, you know. I said, didn't I, before, even we've seen him this weekend, I think he's got loads of gears and stuff. I think he is the one to beat. But he's like 9-4, this fella's 10s, you know. The stats lads will be all against him, you know. He's coming from a maiden, he's not proven at the trip, but I don't care about that. I don't. I'm not bothered about that stuff. You know, if Kopek kind of beats work ahead in the Supreme, which could be your forecast, I'd kind of expect this guy to get a little smashed up for the Ballymore. He could go Supreme, he could. JP's, you know, you look at JP's squad, he could easily go Supreme. But that's why, you know, we'll take the non-runner no bet at 10s. you know. Final Demand, I mean, we've got 3 points in him. I could just bank 5 points on Final Demand and we're done with the race. I don't know. I just want to have a think about it for a day or two. But I appreciate maybe that 9-4 will be 7-4 in a day or two, you know. I just don't like getting rushed when I'm not quite 100%. You know, I may well come round to thinking, yeah, and I'm on in myself, you know. So but yeah, for now we'll just have the 3 points on that Cowabunga at 10s. Cornicate, I was screaming at Patrick to ease off this guy, you know. There were no need to come 9 clear of Good and Clever. He looked to pipe horse all over. I did a bit of digging, trying to work out his mark. A bit of digging I did, and Good and Clever. I thought Good and Clever would be about 1-3-4. You know, he's beat him 9 here. I'd be guessing they'll put him on about 1-4-3, which would probably just knock him out of the park with the tax, you know. Yeah, he's 10-1 non-runner, no bet, but there was no need to come 9 clear with the other third here. You know, you can play the non-runner, no bet if you like. I did actually have a little on it, but to be honest, I don't think he's getting in. No, shame. But they'll play the for that. But yeah, I'd have liked him for that, I would have. K Doherty, market stank, didn't it? You know, just, yeah, it did. I know it did the last time, but this were just unreal. Like, you know, he took a rate walk in the market. Never jumped a hurdle. You know, I put a line through this, but, you know, he's in the bin. He is. But yeah, I like the horse, and I wouldn't judge him too harshly on this. I think there must have been something amiss here. You know, the market said they were maybe just not trained well in the week or something, like, you know. 2 mile 1 furlong, Grade 1 Dublin Chase. Solness beat Marine National 2 with Gaelic Warrior another 12 length back in third. Solness went fast and just didn't stop, you know. Oh, got more coffee. Yeah, he's been fantastic horse, hasn't he, for connections. I'd say the ground's very important to him if it comes up soft at Cheltenham, which it probably will, you know. No, but it brings something to the race anyway, some good pace to the race, which is always good. But yeah, I mean, connections won't care if he don't win another race. He's had a fantastic season. Marine National enjoyed the ground and ran well. Yeah, to be fair, he did. Gaelic Warrior, yeah, he didn't get it done, did he? No. You know, I was wrong about that, but it's the ground, isn't it? You know, he did remarkably well, really, to get beat 14. He looked like getting beat a distance, didn't he? At one point, he closed right up. He looked like he'd get closer, but he'd done a lot of running, hadn't he, to make up that ground. Yeah, I think it's all about the ground with this fella. It is, you know. He finished a broken horse, didn't he, at this meeting last season? Yeah, he don't like Leopardstown much either. But I think if it was soft heavy, it'd been alright, like, you know, you'd just seen a different result, I think, here. Yeah, he looked a broken horse last season, and then he did what he did in the Arkle, didn't he? You know, well, he's some trainer. If it comes up soft to heavy in the Champion, I'd say he's a huge chance. I would still. And the bookies kind of agree. They didn't push him out much here, did they? can get 6-1. That's the best at Ladbrokes non-runner no bet. Generally, he's a point and a half shorter than that. He could go Ryanair, you know, if he doesn't get his ground. But I think Factor File will be there. And maybe El Fabiolo, you know, if he goes to Cheltenham at all, I'd imagine it'll be Ryanair. And you wouldn't expect Willie really to fire two big guns at the Ryanair, you know, but what do I know, you know. I'd say if it comes up soft heavy, he'll be running in that champion chase, he will. And we knew it'd be a bit of a journey with this fella, but, you know, hopefully it'll have a good ending. He's on his day, he's, what's it, a mercurial talent, something like that, you know. He's a bit of a maverick, this fella. Right then, yeah, things got a bit better here. 2 mile, 5.5, grade 3 handicap chase, back to normal. Beat sequestered just over 3, you know. I watched this with my dad, you know, on Sunday. I went round to my dad's and we watched it together, and I had a bit of a chuckle with him before the race when Ruby suggested, I think 130 was stiff enough mark for him. Like, really? Yeah, he landed as the nap, didn't he, you know. Had some rough results over the weekend, but we had a few decent ones as well, and this topped the lot, like, yeah, he landed a big gamble, didn't he? Jumped lovely, just chugged around, were easy, you know. He'll probably go up a good 10 for this, I'd imagine, to 140 or so. I don't know really where he goes now, but this were a big pot in its own right, weren't it? I think in the interview after Gavin, he tried to keep a straight face when they were asking him about his runs in the Novice Chasers. Yeah, I think he said around this trip for now, you know, you can't take these things as read, because you were thinking maybe Kim your type, Percy were like that type. But maybe like Percy, he will be back for the 3 mile Paddy Power at this track next Christmas, you know. I'm not sure where he goes in the meantime, but he'd be on my mind for that anyway. A long way away, I know, but... Right. Two mile grade 1 Irish champion hurdle, State Man, beat Daddy Longlegs. Yeah, 6.5 here. They went really fast, didn't they? They went quick. It were like watching that Christmas race all over again, you know. We looked to have a fantastic racing prospect, didn't we? Neither horse had been asked any sort of question. And with 3 out, I think maybe, Lossiemouth just crashed through it, didn't she? What happens now, I don't know. To be honest, I'm just glad she's alright, you know. I'm just glad she's alive and kicking. You know, I feared the worst watching this. You know, these 2 mile hurdlers, they live on the edge, don't they? I'll never forget Arkle. He was some horse, you know. Yeah. So, you know, it's not all about the bait, is it? You know, it's not. I'm just glad she's alright, you know. Touch wood. What I would say is both horses look back on song here. They did, you know, they had no problem travelling at a sort of fierce pace here. And I think maybe Willies generally just aren't sharp enough, you know, at Christmas time for that sort of pace test, you know, that sort of test of pace. You know, probably that as much as anything with both these at Christmas. I thought maybe Lozzie found it a bit strange being in front, you know, and just maybe lost concentration, because she's like invariably sort of ridden from off the pace, isn't she? Maybe that way. Hopefully she comes out of this fine, but it's not a given, is it, you know? Yeah, we'll have to see what sort of bulletins we get this week. You know, if she does, Willie said he's sticking with the champion hurdle plan. You know, I never really thought, you know, Willie's not really left any doubt that's where he's been going all season. He's doubled down on it every time he's been asked. But just now, I don't know, you know, it wouldn't shock me if they took the softer option after this. You know, we just didn't see this coming, did we? You know, maybe they would after this. But, you know, if she comes out of this okay and she goes to champion hurdle, I still like her chances. I do, you know, at Cheltenham. State Man, he bounced back to form here, I'd say. He did. He looked back to himself. He'll go champion hurdle. Won't be for me there. Okay. Yeah. You know. Yeah, it was a shame that she didn't deserve that, did she? You know, I love Lozzie Mouth, but yeah, at least she walked away from it, like, you know. Right, the 2 mile listed handicap hurdle. McClory beat Stormheart a length here. I think this used to be called the Ladbroke, didn't it? And then the Pierce, you know, it's got a good history, this race. Another gamble landed for us here, you know. Yeah, you know, we said McClory, it was Ramblers won this. And yeah, I think 17-2 when I put him up. And I don't know what price he finished, maybe 11-4 or so, I'm not sure. It was funny this stage, you know, like coming into Sunday, it was like my 2 biggest fancies were this fella and Back to Normal, and I'm like, I'm insane here, like 2 big handicaps, but they're the ones I've kind of liked at a price and I felt fairly confident on. And so I had a Trixie and a treble, and the other horse I put in was Lozzie Mouth. Yeah. You know, could have maybe doubled them, I suppose, in hindsight, but I don't know, you just kind of think you're asking for a bit much for 2 big gambles to be landed, didn't you? But yeah, this was a great day for Mullins, Emmett Mullins, as well as Willie. You know, he took the mare's handicap out, didn't he? Very progressive horse, this, I'd say, and I think there's plenty more to come from him. He's only won a length here. He was 120. What's he going to go up to? Maybe 6-8. Split it. Maybe 127. I don't see how he can put him up more than 7 for a length. You know, I'd say maybe 7. He started from a nice base, hasn't he, this fella? You know, so I think there's more to come from him as well. 6-1 non-runner no bet for the county. There'll be other contenders there, but, you know, if he rocks up there, you'd imagine with a tax, he'll probably, from right about the 127-ish, even if they bang him up 7 or 8, he's going to be off a nice sort of rating, isn't he? You know, low 130s, low to mid 130s. I'd say he's one to keep on side for a while anyway, you know. Stormheart ran a big race on seasonal return. He was strong in the market, weren't he? But it kind of looked to me like a ride for another day. Maybe I'm wrong. That's kind of what it looked like to me a little. But yeah, with the strength in the market, maybe I were wrong. But I just weren't taken with how he came up the hill last year at Cheltenham in that triumph, you know. Otherwise, I'd be real interested in for like maybe a Coral Cup or a county. You know, he's probably going to go to Cheltenham for one of the handicaps, and he'll probably be a fancy for many. I just have that little query, like I say, how he finished off in the triumph last year. But, you know, they were young horse, it was a tough race, weren't it, that? James's Gate didn't run, did he? So he didn't get that qualifying run for the Coral Cup. If they don't run him in the next sort of week or two, they may just go Ballymore with this fella. Turners, sorry. And I wouldn't rule him out. That's what I mean, you know. You're talking 136 horse here. There's not many 136 novices you'd be giving a chance to in like a Turners, is there? We'll see what happens with him. But yeah, maybe they've had a change of heart and they thought we'll give the Turners a whirl, and I wouldn't be putting a line through him. I wouldn't. 2 mile mares grade 2 bumper then, yeah, close the card out here. Bambino Fever beat Switch from Diesel 7.5. This were impressive, you know. This looked a really strong field, didn't it? And she had them well strung out at the finish here. I told you my dad said this were good, you know. Yeah, he said he liked this horse. He says this girl's the one. Okay. My dad says this is the one. He's just a whiz with these bumpers. So we'll back accordingly. We'll follow him in. 6-1 she is. Non-runner no bet. We'll have 4 points on her. I'll just leave a small bit of room there. You know, like I say, it's another race. Willie could pull a rabbit out of the hat yet, but we like her, we do. You know, it's got my dad's seal of approval, this one. I do like her running style, you know. For that race, they often go quick in the bumper and set it up for a finisher, don't they? And she looks like she'd eat that hill like. Willie says they're good to go for Cheltenham. Paul will ride her, you know, as Patrick can't do the weight. And to be fair, I've got nothing at all against Patrick in this race, this Cheltenham bumper, you know. I thought his ride on Jasmine last year was sublime, to be honest, I did. But all the same, it's no bad thing, is it, to have Paul up, you know. So yeah, 6-1. Well, 4 points on her. You'll be glad to know that's the last of your bets. Okay. There's a few gone in the bin, but we've replaced them with a few other ones, like, you know. And that's that then. Performance of the week. Galopin. I know I always give him number 1, don't I? I do. There's a good reason for that. He's the best horse. Okay? He just is. 3 Gold Cups, it's getting closer now, isn't it? Yeah. Come on, Galopin. Kopek Award boards. Sorry, yeah, wow. Big wow. Big wow. Yeah. I think he's the best novice hurdler we've seen by some distance. I don't care if people say you can't back this horse at 5-4, whatever. They may be right. I mean, it's very difficult to know where he'll be in. You know, you could well get a better price than 5-4. But I just want to get him on side. And if you do get a better price than 5-4, like I say, do you know, on the day, if you're lucky enough to have a 365 account, I know last year they did a super boost on State Man or some Champion Hurdle, but it's the first race. The bookies aren't as generous as they used to be, you know, a few years back with these first races. They used to give some brilliant offers, but still, the chances are if you shop around, someone will give you a bit of a boost on this fella on the day. So, you know, maybe don't have all of what you want on him now, but I want to get him in the bank, like, you know. And then personally, I can get anything on the day that's nice, like, you know, I'll top up a little. I think you know, the only thing that beats Kopek de Boards in that Supreme is Kopek de Boards. You know, that's your only. Just got to keep a lid on him. You know, yeah. I mean, if you're a serious player, don't take the. You don't bet him now. You know, watch him at the start and how he goes down and all that. You know. But anyhow, for our purposes, we're on now. Okay, 5-4. Third, I gave to Final Demand. I did. You know, fantastic beast of an horse. This is unbeaten. You know, this fella will have connections, dreaming of Gold Cups, and why not? You know, in the meantime, he's going to take all the beating. He's in that turn, as you know. Jeez, do we put him up 9-4? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, look, we'll probably put him up Friday at 7-4. I don't know. We want to be on him, don't we? We do really. I'm not rushing my mind. No, my mind don't like being rushed. Yeah, but he's the one to beat in that. He is. Ballyburn, Majborough, you want to chuck any of those in the top three? Absolutely no problem with that. Like, you know. Right then, so that's all that. Friday, I may do a video on Friday. We'll see how it goes. I'm not promising anything, but we kind of need to do an ante-post roundup. I've got some repair job to do there. To be fair, it's not all bad, but it's just this bin's bigger than I'd like, you know. Yeah, and maybe put a few bets up for the weekend and stuff. Yeah, it's like 10 up on Sunday, and we've got the big handicap hurdle Saturday. Jeez, I had a glance at that. I've been busy with this all day, but there were two quite obvious ones towards the front of the market, I think, and you'd want to have a good look at them. The JP horse for Nicky, you know, that form got a boost into it when the winner of that race. The winner of the race came and beat Coggies, you know, so that form got a boost. You know, she looked more like there's more to come from her. She looks well handicapped, and the other horse, the mare that's been running at 2.5, you know the horse of me. I'll get worse. I do. This is why I have to make my notes. You know the horse I mean anyway, don't you? The one dropping in trip that won the mare's Novice last year. Yeah. You know, I hadn't even had a look through race, but them two just jumped out at me. I know they're towards the front of the market, but I'll have a little look at them anyway. Yes, and Sagino, haven't we? We've got Sagino as well at the weekend, so that's something to look forward to as well. Yeah, we've got to get this ante-post roundup done. So I may see you Friday. We may get all that done on Friday. All right. Well, thanks for your time then. Yeah, it's been a long one, hasn't it? So I appreciate your time. Yeah, it was good, weren't it? It was a good weekend. It always is. So all the best, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.